Hello everyone. Today I am going to complete your second chapter, last topic, literacy and population policy. Literacy as a prerequisite to education is an instrument of empowerment. The more literate the population, the gender, the consciousness of career options, as well as participation in the knowledge economy. Literacy can lead to health awareness and fuller participation in the cultural and economic well-being of the community. Literacy level has improved considerably after independence, and the almost two-thirds of our population is now literate. But improvement in the literacy rate have to struggle to keep up with the rate of growth of Indian population, which is still quite high. Literacy in India is key for socio-economic progress. India's effective literacy rate has recorded a 9.2% rise to reach 74.04% in 2011. Literacy rate improved among females as compared to males. Males is 82.14%, rises of 6.9%. Females is 65.46%, whereas rises of 11.8%. Kerala is the most literate state in India with 93.9% literacy, followed closely by Lakshadweep at 92.28%. Bihar is the least literate state in India with 63.82% literacy, followed by Arunachal Pradesh and 66.95%. Haryana has the lowest female literacy rate in India. Reasons for low literacy rate: the absence of adequate school infrastructure and inefficient teaching staff is one of the main factors. No proper sanitation in most of the schools. The study of 188 government-run primary schools in central and northern India revealed that 59% of the schools had no drinking water facility and 89% don't have even toilets. The average people teacher ratio for all India is 1:42, implying teacher shortage. Furthermore, the expenditure allocated to education was never above 4.3% of the GDP. Discrimination of lower castes has resulted in high dropout rates and low enrollment rates. Absolutely, poverty in India has also deteriorated the pursuit of formal education. The large proportion of illiterate females is another reason for low literacy in India. Inequality based on gender differences resulted in female literacy rates being lower. Now, this table shows literacy rate in India. Literacy varies considerably across gender, across region, and across social groups. As we can see in this table, the literacy rate for women is 16.3%, less than the literacy rate for men. However, female literacy has been rising faster than the male literacy. That we can see with this. In year 1951, the male literacy rate was 27.2%, females 8.9%. And in 2011, 73% males were there, whereas the literacy of males was 80.9% and females literacy rate was 64.6%. Now, the vast majority of the population of India has always lived in the rural areas, and that continues to be true. According to Census of India 2011, still more people are living in rural areas, but the population of urban areas has increased. Now, 68.8% population lives in rural areas while 31.2% people live in urban areas. As we can see through this table, the urban population has been increasing its share steadily. As we can see, in year 1901, rural population was 213 million, whereas urban population was 26 million. The percentage was rural population 89.2% and urban population 10.8%, whereas in 2011, 833 million people were residing in rural areas and 377 million people were residing in urban areas. The percentage share was 68.8% for the rural and 31.2% for the urban areas. Urbanization. Mass migration of rural population into urban centers resulting in increasing the urban population and growth of cities. That people are increasingly engaged in non-farm rural occupation like transport services, business enterprises or craft manufacturing. If they are close enough, then they may travel daily to the nearest urban centers to work while continuing to live in the villages. Causes of urbanization. Migration. People are migrating due to better employment opportunities, better living standards, better availability of social services like education, health, transport, entertainment, etc. Considered from an urban point of view, the rapid growth in urbanization shows that the town or city has been acting as a magnet for the rural population. Those who cannot find work in the rural areas go to the city in search of work. This flow of rural to urban migration has also been accelerated by the continuous decline of common property resources like ponds, forest and grazing lands. Urban community population more than 5,000, 75% of male population working in non-agricultural occupation, population density at least 400 per square kilometer. While urbanization has been occurring at a rapid pace, it is the biggest cities, metropolis, city with infrastructure and the suburbs are different growing faster. Megapolis, cities with infrastructure and the suburbs are included, for example, NCR. Migrants from the rural areas as well as from small towns were 286 million people. What is the striking, however, is that more than two-thirds of the urban population lives in 27 big cities with million plus population. Clearly, the larger cities in India are growing at a such rapid rate that the urban infrastructure can hardly keep pace. Population density ratio between total population and surface area, defined as number of persons living per square kilometer. Now, population. A population is summation of all the organisms of the same group or species which live in the same geographical area and have the capability of interbreeding. Policy. Set up ideas or plans that is used as a basis for decision making, attitude and actions of an organization regarding a particular issue, general statement of understanding which guide decision making. Now, national population policy. Policy for more than a half century, India was perhaps the first country to announce such a policy in 1952. The need for national population policy was felt since 70s. It was drafted in 1976. Policy statement on family welfare program was also prepared in 1977. Both these statements were tabled in the parliament but were never discussed or adopted. The National Health Policy of 1983 emphasized the need for securing the small family norms through voluntary efforts and moving towards the goal of population stabilization. Important features of National Population Policy 1976. It was the first national population policy made by our government, increasing the age of marriage from 15 to 18 years for girls and from 18 to 21 years for boys. Freeze the population figures at the 1971 level until 2001. Make some portion of central assistance provided to the states dependent upon their performance in the family planning. National Population Policy 2000, latest one. Apart from fertility and mortality rate, it deals with women education, improved health and nutrition, child survival and health, the unmet need of family welfare services. Objective of National Population Policy 2000. Immediate objective to improve health services. Medium term objective to bring total fertility rate to replacement level. Long term objectives: suitable economic growth, social development, environmental protection, achieve universal immunization of children, achieve 100% registration of birth, death, marriages and pregnancy, prevention and control of communicable diseases. Health: a state of complete physical, mental and social well-being and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Policy: a system which provides the logical framework and rationality of decision making for the achievement of intended objectives. Now, the health policy. Health policy of a nation is its strategy for controlling and optimizing the social usage of its health knowledge and health resources. Principles of primary health care. Equitable distribution, that is, health service must be shared equally by all irrespective of their ability to pay. At present, most of the health services are mainly in the major towns and cities, resulting in equality of care to the people in rural areas. Second, community participation. There must be a continuing effort to secure meaningful involvement of the community in the planning, implementation, and maintenance of health services, besides maximum reliance on local resources such as manpower, money, and materials. Third, intersectoral coordination. Primary health care involves, in addition to the health sector, all related sectors and aspects of national and community development, in particular agriculture, animal husbandry, food, industry, education, housing, public work, communication, and other sectors. Fourth, appropriate technology. Technology that is scientifically sound, adaptable to local needs, and acceptable to those who apply it and those for whom it is used, and that can be maintained by the people themselves in keeping with the principle of self-reliance with the resource the community and country can afford. Important goals of National Health Policy 2017. The resource book is NCRT. According to this, increase health expenditure by government as a percentage of GDP from the existing 1.15% to 2.5% by 2025. Increase life expectancy at birth from 67.5% to 70 by 2025. Establish regular tracking of disability adjusted life years index as a measure of burden of disease and its trends by major categories by 2022. Reduction of TFR to 2.1 at national and subnational level by 2025. Reduce under 5 mortality to 23 by 2025 and maternal mortality rate from current level to 100 by 2020. Reduce neonatal mortality to 16 and stillbirth rate to single digit by 2025. Achieve global target of 2020, which is also termed as target of 90-90-90 for HIV AIDS. That is 90% of all people living with HIV know their HIV status. 90% of all people diagnosed with HIV infection receive sustained antiviral therapy, antiviral therapy, and 90% of all people receiving therapy will have viral suppression. And achieve and maintain a cure rate of less than 85% in new sputum positive patients for TB and reduce incidence of new cases to reach elimination status by 2025 and reduce the blindness to 0.25 upon 1000 by 2025 and disease burden by 1/3 from current levels. Reduce premature mortality rate, increase utilization of public health facilities. More than 90% of the newborn are fully immunized. Meet need of family planning above 90%. 80% of known hypertensive and diabetic individuals at household level maintain controlled disease status. Relative reduction in prevalence of current tobacco used by 15% by 2020 and 30% by 2025. reduction of 40% in prevalence of stunting of under 5 children by 2025. These all are the points which is taken by governments. Thank you.